Hey, I'm Oscar Rodriguez.
What's up? I'm Isaiah Ruiz.
And I'm Ethan Michael. And we're here to get the ball rolling for you today, bring your weekly sports updates. Welcome back to Titan Sports. The Cardinals have picked up the fifth-year option on quarterback Kyler Murray, who will be making a reported $29.7 million in 2023. Murray has a contract for the next 2 seasons. He wants more.
This NFL offseason has been a bit dramatic for Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals, but the star quarterback is now under contract through 2023. That they picked up the fifth-year option on Murray's contract. The former #1 overall pick in the 2019 NFL Draft will make a fully guaranteed $29.7 million in 2023.
As a 2-time Pro Bowler, Murray's fifth-year option in 2023 is worth more than over $7 million more than the next closest first-round draft pick from 2019. However, that's not enough for the former Heisman Trophy winner.
Murray and his agent, Eric Burkhart, have been pushing for a new profitable contract. Burkhart even released a statement in February about the new deal, stating that Murray wants to be Arizona's long-term quarterback and that he, quote, desperately, unquote, wants to win the Super Bowl.
While trade rumors then began to fly, Cardinals general manager Steve Keim said last week that there is a quote, zero chance, unquote, Murray would be dealt.
The United States military is considering a plan to fund athletic scholarships at the college level in exchange for mandatory service for student athletes, according to a report by Sportico.
The proposal, which being discussed by defense leaders and elected officials, comes from the military's ongoing recruitment issues and shrinking population of Americans eligible for military service.
The idea to recruit from college athletics was proposed to military officials by Dave Maloney, a former athlete at Auburn who is now a military contractor. Maloney's proposal named the Scholar Athlete Intelligence and Leadership Program, also known as SELP, will both supply the Department of Defense with a steady stream of healthy, physically fit young Americans while also rescuing college athletics in danger of elimination due to budget cuts, such as tennis, wrestling, and lacrosse. However, NCAA football and basketball programs would be exempt from the proposal.
While advocates of the plan suggested that CLP would allow schools to fill scholarship gaps and fund thousands more college athletes, others expressed some skepticism about the proposed recruitment concept.
On to baseball with the Dodgers. We finally have some news and update on pitcher Dustin May. May spoke to reporters on Tuesday about his condition and revealed he has thrown 8 bullpen sessions this month, the latest featuring 25 pitches.
In case you don't remember, May underwent Tommy John surgery for an elbow injury he suffered against the Brewers in his 5th start of the 2021 season. It hasn't even been a full year yet since the injury occurred, and May is honestly making a lot of progress in his recovery.
I agree, Ethan. His recovery is coming along pretty smoothly, which is a great sign for the boys in blue and us Dodger fans. Now, while there is no expected confirmed date as to when he will return, it is expected for him to return in the latter third of the season, which will be obviously very crucial and make a huge impact on the Dodgers. And according to Dave Roberts, May is being built to come back as a starter. And with May's return, this could put the Dodgers starting rotation at the top of the league.
His next step will be incorporating breaking pitches into his next bullpen session. And from the looks of it, it seems like he will be accomplished in no time. Also, can we imagine the starting rotation? First, you got Kershaw. Then you got Buehler, Urias, Henney, Gonsolin, Anderson, and Price, just to name a few. And now you got May coming back. The Dodgers are going to be looking hot just in time for the summer. So literally, like 5 minutes ago, I checked my phone, and it said that Trevor Bauer has now been suspended for 2 years. So what do you guys think about that?
Well, we talked about May coming back. I think they're definitely going to need him now more than ever because Bauer's out for 2 seasons. That's breaking news, so I don't know if it goes against the salary just yet. But we're definitely going to need May. He's a great young player, and he throws hard, so we need him.
I agree with Ethan on the standpoint of now that Bauer's suspended for 2 years. I just hope that the Dodgers can get that money back and use that money to get somebody else, another pitcher. And as far as May, I'm excited for him to come back, but I think he'll come back towards like August or September. And even then, it's only going to be for about 30 pitches if he does start a game in that later half of the year.
We got your weekly fix of CSUF sports coming at you. That's right, Titan Timeline is headed your way. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Titan Timeline. I'm your host, Briana Beverly. Let's get started, shall we? All right, we're going to kick off some things with our women's tennis team. Now, if you recall from last week's show, our lady tennis team were in a bit of a slump, but as I called it, they are right back on top. That's right, our number 5 seeded Cal State Fullerton women's tennis team defeated the number 4 seeded UC Davis in the Big West Championships quarterfinals yesterday morning with a final score of 4-2. Now, this is quite the comeback after UC Davis broke up their 8th game winning streak back on April 2nd. With this big win, the ladies will be moving on to the semifinal stage where they will face the number 1 seeded UCSB Gauchos. The first serve takes place today at 12 p.m., so don't miss it. Now let's keep going with the ball and let's talk about some men's basketball news. Looks like we have a new addition to the Titan family as head coach of the basketball team, Dedrick Taylor, has announced the signing of forward Garrison Wade for the 2022 and 2023 season. Wade is a graduate transfer from Dartmouth, where he is top 3 in blocks, 3-pointers, and rebounds, and he only spent 3 years there as well. In high school, Wade helped lead his team to their first ever state championship back in 2018, and was a 4-year letter winner for basketball and a 2-year winner for baseball as well. Now, it seems like Wade will fit just fine, and Coach Dedrick feels the same, stating, quote, "Garrison will improve our spacing and help us rebound, and oh yeah, we are getting a Dartmouth-educated student, a complete, well-rounded young man," end quote. Welcome to the Titan family, Garrison. Now moving on to some baseball news, and might I add, some good news. The CSUF baseball team took home the W after beating San Diego Tuesday night with a final score of 8-7 here at home at Goodwin Field. With this win, our Titans overcame a 5-run deficit and improved the 16-22 on the season as well. Sorry, guys. The Titans are headed to Hawaii for a big three-game Big West Conference Series against the Rainbow Warriors beginning tonight. And of course, we will be rooting for them as always. And before I sign off today, the Titan sports crew want to say a big congratulations to our fellow Titan freshman softball pitcher, Racy Miranda. Earlier this week on Monday, the Big West Conference announced Miranda as their 11th Player of the Week of the 2022 softball season. Now, to be a little bit more specific, she was named the Big West Pitcher of the Week and the Freshman of the Week as well. Miranda made a pitching appearance in all 4 games last week against LMU and UC Santa Barbara, earning a save and 3 wins. She's led the pitching staff with a 0 ERA in 11.1 innings pitched, allowed just 7 hits, 1 walk, 2 unearned runs, and had 10 strikeouts all in the matter of 1 week, guys. That is insane. Now, these are her first honors of the career, but not the first for the softball team as well, because they've had 8 women honored this past season. The ladies face off against Cal Poly this weekend, and games are set to take place at Anderson Family Field. Both Saturday and Sunday's games begin at 1 p.m. Well, that's all the CSUF news I have for you guys today. When we return, join us for our roundtable discussion.
Things could be stranger, but I don't know how. I'm going through changes now. Could spend a lifetime trying to figure it out. I'm going through changes now that have just begun under a purple sun. There's many reasons we are what we've become. I'm going through changes now. Things could be different, but I don't know how. Changes through all of the strangeness. I'm going through changes now.
I'm Pet Milk Pete, a rough, tough guy. I'll shoot the whiskers off a fly. Why, I'll lick my weight in wildcats, too. The reason why I'll give to you. I grew up on Pet. Pet milk, the doctor said for me. A healthy lad needs vitamin D. My bones got strong, my muscles feel. They had to spring a tempered stale. I grew up on Pet. I outgrew that bottle like a calf, then switched to Pet mixed half and half. That sweet country milk with half the water out, so I put it back in right from the spout. I grew up on Pet. And all the time, Mom cooked with Pet those meals I never will forget. At 18, I could punch a cow. I had my pet with coffee now. I grew up on Pet. So take my tip, for old Pete knows that what you eat is how you grow. So grow up strong the Pet Milk way and have some Pet Milk every day.
All right, guys, so now on to some hot topics of the week. Let's talk about NBA playoffs and start with Ethan. So what are your thoughts about the NBA playoffs so far?
Well, like I said 2 weeks ago, that it pretty much always depends on who's the healthiest and who's the hottest.
Right.
So as you saw with the Nets, they were shorthanded, they didn't have Ben Simmons, and they got swept. Yeah. And then you look at the Suns, when they had Devin Booker out, they started losing games, and when they got Devin Booker back, they won. And shout out to Chris Paul for making history, going 14 for 14. So if the Suns are healthy, I like their chances because they're one of the most balanced teams we've had in a while. But you look at the two scariest teams right now, the Celtics and the Warriors. Big part of that is because they're deep,
right,
and they're not afraid. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, going off what you said, Ethan, I think the Warriors are going to have a really good chance, especially with the Suns, too. But yeah, surprisingly, I thought the Pelicans were going to tie even up the series. So, but honestly, it was Chris Paul that changed the game.
Yeah.
What do you think, Zay?
Point guard, man. Well, here's the thing. So I obviously picked the Warriors to come out of the West. I think they're still going to come out of the West. I think regardless of who comes out of that series between Minnesota and Memphis, I think they're going to gentlemen sweep them. That's just my personal opinion of it. As far as I know, I picked the Nets to come out of the East. That went downhill real quick as they got swept. But like Ethan said, you know what? It's not just that the Warriors and like the Celtics who are coming up like really well this in the playoffs. They also have the Celtics defense is really, really good. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they take Milwaukee to 7 games, and I wouldn't be surprised if they beat them. I hope not. I'm a Laker fan, so I hope they sweep Boston. But you got to give credit where credit is due. Jason Tatum is one of my favorite players. I hope he's a Laker one day. But their defense is tenacious, and they're gonna prove it, I believe, in the 7-game series.
All right, absolutely. So now we're moving on a couple of different categories. So football, NFL draft is coming up. A lot of good, players out there. What are your thoughts, Oscar? What do you think is going on with that specific part?
I mean, for me, I'm a Washington fan, so I was a little upset that the Eagles and the Giants kind of like really drafted good, especially with the Eagles trading for A.J. Brown, a really good wide receivers, just going to help out Jalen Hurts more. And then also drafting Jordan Davis, one of like the biggest and most powerful defensive linemen there is, and especially what he did over there in Georgia. So it's just more scarier for everyone in the NFC East. What about your picks?
So as a Steeler fan, I gotta say I don't know how I feel about getting Kenny Pickett, although I did want to get either Malik Willis or Spencer Ritter from Cincinnati. But you know what? We'll see how he does. I'm gonna keep a close eye on him in the preseason. Throughout the season, if he doesn't cut it out, he's got to go. We'll trade him. I wouldn't mind trading him for a former first-round pick for somebody else. But you know what? There's other good picks too. I thought the first pick of the NFL draft, Trevor Walker, was a complete shock. I didn't think he was going to go to Jacksonville. I thought he was going to go like in the middle of the first round. But you know what? He had a good combine, and that's really, I think, what boosted him. Had running a 4.5 at already like almost 300 pounds. So we'll see how he does. But I think it was a pretty good draft for being that there's not really a lot of stars in this draft, and it's been years. I can't remember the last time we had a draft where there wasn't that many stars in it.
Well, I think the winners of the draft after the first day was the Jets and the Ravens. For me, the Jets have just been an unwatchable franchise for about a decade now. So hopefully they can turn around with all those picks. And then I think the Ravens did well with that safety they got. So, only first day of the draft so far, but exciting news. Excited to see Hollywood Brown in Arizona and Jalen Hurts get a weapon in A.J. Brown. So.
Yeah, definitely. The trades were definitely. I will say that I was tripping out over all the trades that were happening that were going on. I was like, wow, A.J. Brown to the Eagles. I believe they probably wanted a lot of money, but I don't think Tennessee was willing to pay him, so they just booted him out. I think he got the money that I think he deserves. He's ascending as a superstar receiver, but. That was a good pick. It was a good trade for the Eagles, I feel. Yeah,
in my opinion, I think Jalen Hurts is a way better quarterback than Ryan Tannehill. So, and Hurts finally gets his wide receiver number 1.
Yeah, definitely.
It worked out for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. All right. That is all the time that we have for today, but don't worry because we will be back next week with a brand new episode. As always, I'm Briana Beverly.
I'm Ethan Michael. And yeah, if you liked our show, go follow us on Instagram at CSUF Titan Sports.
And I'm Isaiah Ruiz. Go ahead and give us a follow on Twitter as well at CSUF Titan Sports.
And I'm Oscar Rodriguez. Once again, thank you all for tuning in. From all of us here in the studio, have an awesome Friday, Titans.